Welcome back, folks. Fitzcam here. What's going on there, folks? All right, we're going to talk about anarchy today. And that has to do with part 2 of this bootlicker bingo thing I got going on that I found today on Facebook. This is a great one. Without cops, there would be anarchy. Do you know what anarchy is, folks? Anarchy. Have you ever looked that word up? Have you ever looked that word up? Right here. A-N-A-R-C-H-Y. Hollywood movies and mainstream television, especially the media, would have you believe, anarchy. Oh, evil, evil word. That means chaos, right? That means chaos. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do? It's chaos. Without cops, there would be anarchy? Meaning what? Chaos? I assume that's what that means by this title, by this sentence. You have been led to believe that, people, I don't want to say you because I don't know who's watching, but most people have been led to believe that anarchy means chaos. Just complete riots in the streets and what's that damn movie? The Purge? Yeah, it means The Purge. Yeah, what a ridiculous, stupid movie that was. Nobody can protect themselves without cops for 24 hours? Give me a break. What a joke. Anyway, enough of my opinion. But here's some facts here, folks. Anarchy. You know, this guy Mark Passio on YouTube has a great way of explaining it. And I'm going to set up the video. Stand by. Alright, I know what anarchy means because I've looked it up. And let's read this again. Now, I'm going to read this again, and then I want you to listen to Mark Passio explain it in detail. Mark Passio, I hope I have your permission to... I hope it's okay that I post this on my YouTube. And I'll post the link in the description to your website, to your Facebook page. I'm sorry, not your Facebook, but your YouTube page. Apologize. Anyway, without cops, there would be anarchy. Let's take a closer look, folks. Anarchy. Here. Let's take a closer look at this word right here. Anarchy. What is it, folks? Can you describe it? Let's take a closer look.
Let's look at what the word anarchy really means. Again, you got to break it down. From the Greek prefix an, which means without or the absence of. And the Greek noun archon, they're written in Greek script, which means master or ruler. And again, I mean externally. One who externally rules another or claims to be the master of another. That's what the term archon means in its connotation. Anarchy, as we can see by putting these together, does not mean without rules. The word archon does not mean rules. Okay? Because there's always going to be rules in effect called natural law, the laws of morality. It means rulers, imposed rulers. That's what archon means in Greek.
Are you paying attention? Anarchy does not mean without rules. It means without rulers. Without a ruler. Let's continue.
It literally means anarchy now, putting it together. An, absence of, archon, master or ruler. The absence of masters or rulers. Externally imposed masters or rulers. Meaning, when we put it together, okay, it means without rulers, without masters. Now, if you give people that term, no masters, no rulers. No masters, no slaves. What word are they going to associate those phrases with? Freedom. But if you tell people what does anarchy mean to you, what do you associate it with, what are they going to tell you? Chaos, which is the exact opposite. That's in that other column. Okay? They have deliberately obfuscated the meaning of the word through a mind control technique called endless repetition. If I could keep telling you a word doesn't mean what it means, that's not a projector, that's a hammer. Hey, could you check out my hammer over there and make sure it's projecting the image on the board correctly? You know, the bulb burned out in my hammer. I might need to go buy a new hammer. If I kept doing that endlessly for years and years and years, people would start calling that device a hammer. If I got enough people to keep calling it that. So they've gotten enough people to call freedom chaos. Think about that. They've gotten enough people to believe that the absence of the state of slavery means chaos instead of freedom. It's almost unfathomable. It's almost incomprehensible. The mind job that's been done on this species. It's almost incomprehensible. Anarchy is the state of existence where there are no masters and no slaves. Therefore, what it really means is the absence of slavery, or in other words, true freedom. That's all it means. I prefer to call it anarchony.
And I'm going to go back a few seconds. No masters, no slaves. The absence of slavery. That's what anarchy means. No masters, no rulers. What's the end result of that? The absence of slavery. In other words, freedom. Now let's go back a few seconds.
That's all it means. I prefer to call it anarchony. Okay? Keeping the entire word archon instead of taking out the O-N. Okay? If we keep that there and call it anarchony, and I say I'm an anarchonist, people will ask, well, what the hell is that? And then you could really break the word down and say the absence of archons, the absence of those who would claim to be masters over a population of slaves. That's what an anarchonist is. It's saying that's illegitimate, that's unnecessary, and that we need to do away with that state of existence. Okay? So we look at this true divide again.
All right, so that's anarchy. So yes, without cops, it would be anarchy. That is a true statement. That is a true statement. Without cops, it would definitely be anarchy. They would not be our rulers, and you would not be their slave. Let's move on. And that's what we want. I want anarchy. I want no rulers against me, over me. I don't need to be told what to do to know that I shouldn't invade on anybody else's life, liberty, or property. And I don't even like the word liberty, but that's another video. I'm going to make a video on that, the difference between freedom and liberty, because they mean two not completely different things, but they're very different. Liberty is nonsense. Anyway, moving on. But freedom is what we want. Liberty is something different. It is easy being a Monday morning quarterback. Really? That goes along with one of the other ones. They didn't show the whole video, but they didn't show the whole video. It's easy being a Monday morning quarterback. You already watched the entire video. Okay? What are we supposed to do? 300 million people are supposed to be right there on scene watching you do it live? Now, if there's video evidence of what you did, officer, then that's evidence. Well, the video is unclear and it's under review. We have an internal investigation going on, which is another way of we're investigating ourselves. It's easy being a Monday morning quarterback. Some of these videos really, there are a few of these videos, I will admit, a few of these beat down videos from the cops. I don't know. I can't even admit to that. I don't really care if you just killed the president. There's no way. That's no way to take somebody down if they're completely unarmed and nonviolent, not resisting. And I'm talking about thousands of videos I've watched. It's got to be 1,000. I've probably watched 1,000, maybe 2,000 videos on police brutality, maybe more. They kill over 1,200 people a year, folks. Blue ISIS, the blue line right here. And they put people in the hospital, probably I'd say 50 to 52,000 people in the hospital every year with, pretty severe injuries. For what? Resisting in order to sit on the curb like an animal? It could be anything. It's ridiculous. Resisting an illegal order. Monday morning quarterback. No, that's the video. No, Monday morning quarterback, that's the entire video. I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking. I saw what you did. Unless the video's fake, and that could be a possibility these days because of all the technology, but, you know, I see what I see. And the videos prove it. And my own eyes prove it. I've seen it in front of me in Florida, in Orlando. But you can't get involved. Saw it downtown Orlando. Guy getting his ass kicked by the cops, and it lasted 15 seconds, but they made him bleed. They made him bleed. If you don't like police, move to Somalia. I don't know what Somalia has to do with anything. I really haven't heard this one too much, but I have heard North Korea. If you don't like it here, move to North Korea. I'm kind of mixed on this one. Maybe you could move to Somalia and defend yourself with a gun of your own from these pirates and not get sent to a cage. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Somalia. I don't know a lot about North Korea either. But what are you saying by that? What are you saying by that? If you don't like it, move to Somalia. Are you saying you don't want the United States to be less like Somalia? In other words, are you saying you want the United States to be like Somalia? Or North Korea? What does that mean? Leave a comment and tell me what the hell that means. And like I said, I'm kind of mixed on this one because I don't like the U.S. Policy anymore. I woke up. I don't like the U.S. police. The bad ones, you know. I mean, the folks that really do harm, the police that really do harm to folks for no reason. When there's no victim. If there's a victim, fine, pick them up. If there's no victim, this is what this is all about. No victim whatsoever. Rolling through a stop sign. You know. Everybody likes to harp on the red light runners. And I'm not promoting any of this. But if there's no accident and there's no victim, you know, leave the person alone. There's no victim. If there's no victim whatsoever, and I'm not talking about sailing through a stop sign at 60 miles an hour or a red light. I'm talking about rolling through a right turn on red or rolling through a stop sign, or if it's 3 a.m. and there's nobody around and that red light doesn't change, go. I've gone. If there's no camera there, yeah, go. There's nobody there. Why sit there? Voluntary compliance. Voluntary. It's not. There's no such thing as voluntary compliance. If it's voluntary, it's voluntary. If it's compliance, it's forced. So, a red light is not voluntary compliance. Move to Somalia. I don't know. Talk to me about this one. And I say I'm mixed on this because I moved to Mexico. I don't like the U.S. policy anymore, and I don't like the cops. So I got the hell out of there. I'm currently in Mexico right now because the U.S. is gone. It's a fascist communist state with the police state killing people every day. 3 to 5 people every day, folks. And if you think you're immune to that just because you follow the law, or you think you follow the law, you're kidding yourself. They should have just obeyed the officer. This goes hand in hand with the one right above it. Do what they say and you won't get hurt. They should have just obeyed the officer. That could be could be a comma right here. Or 2 sentences. Again, they should have just obeyed. That's admitting the same thing as this one is admitting. You're admitting that deadly, harmful, deadly terrorists. They should have just obeyed. Why don't you obey me? What if I came to your house and said, I'm going to take care of the neighborhood and I want $15 from you right now. I'm collecting $15 from all the homeowners and I have a gun on my hip and that's just what you have to obey. If I came to your front door and said that, what the hell would you think? At the very minimum, you'd say, what a stupid fucking thing to say. Get the fuck off my property. If I didn't already have a gun at my face from the homeowner. You know? They should have just obeyed. Obeyed what? Actually, obeyed what? Obeyed the illegal order? That might go hand in hand with a couple of these. Should have just obeyed Don't do what they say and they won't get hurt. Let's see, what else we got here? Police don't make the laws. There was another one here. This one goes hand in hand with most of these. I don't know, man. They should have just obeyed. Okay, almost done. 5 more. The officer used minimum necessary force. Right here on lower left. That sounds something like the chief would say in a press conference. Or the captain. He used minimum necessary force when the guy... Are you kidding me? Minimum necessary. That's almost an oxymoron. When the guy's got 15 bullets in his chest. These guys got trigger finger. There's a name for it. There's a name for that when your trigger finger just keeps firing unnecessarily. You see that in the movies with a revolver. Click, they fire off 5 or 6 rounds and then click, 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 click. They keep firing. There's a name for that. The human mind, the human brain actually does that. You'll fire several rounds. You'll keep pulling that trigger even though the gun's not firing anymore. It's out of ammo. And I forget the name of that. Please leave a comment below and tell me what the name of that condition is. Minimum force necessary. That's a bunch of shit. If there's 5 or 6 officers on scene pointing their guns at some so-called suspect, one officer fires, the rest of them fire. Do you know why the rest of them fire? Not because they saw danger, but the rest of them fire their guns so they won't be asked later why they didn't fire their gun when their fellow officer did. That's why they